I love how young people are just at the helm of, just the most drastic and beautiful change that happens throughout the world.
Hey, I'm Raleigh Williams. I'm best known for my YouTube channel, Climate Town.
Hi there, my name's Christy Drutman, and I'm most known for being an environmental media host and advocate.
My name is Ronald Griswold. My work is tied to exploring the intersection between the outdoors and Blackness, specifically in working with historical Black colleges and universities.
We've been trying to tell you!
Okay, I'm about to react to some movies in the Netflix One World Infinite Wonder collection.
Let's get it.
It would damage the entire planet, not just a house.
Bummer.
Entire planet. Okay, well, as it's damaging, will it hit this one house in particular that's right on the coast of New Jersey? It's my ex-wife's house.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, are we not being clear? We're trying to tell you that the entire planet is about to be destroyed.
That's how I feel at home a lot of times.
Just something we do around here. We just keep the bad news light.
Right, it helps the medicine go down.
That's the whole out of sight, out of mind thing. It's just like, if it's not affecting me directly, then why care about it?
You can see this spike here is when Riley Bina asked to take DJ Cello back on the segment before you. We saw engagement across all social media platforms.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there was an immediate backlash that quickly became a meme.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's terrible.
They just think I'm crazy.
It is much more easier for our brains to wrap our minds around, oh, well, look at this celebrity and this is the breakup they're going through.
People love the romance, the drama, the gossip, and we need to bring more of that into the conversation with climate science if we're gonna get people to pay attention. We need to fuse pop culture, comedy, satire, storytelling. It's important that we have all different types of communication techniques, not just the doom and gloom.
We have evidence going back to the 50s that government and the fossil fuel industry knew that if they continued to burn fossil fuels, that it would cause catastrophic impact.
Absolutely.
That's when they started editing climate reports.
I love primary document polls.
21 young people ages 11 to 22 are suing the federal government over policies they say are destroying their world.
I love how young people are just at the helm of, just the most drastic and beautiful change that happens throughout the world.
I love watching a document hit the screen and get a pull quote that's just so damning. They're just saying like, oh, there's no evidence that climate change has ever been known to a fossil fuel company. And then it's like 100 articles from fossil fuel companies that are like, hey, we found out about climate change, but don't tell anybody.
Why go after a corporation? Why go after the government? These are things that a lot of us can't wrap our mind around, or we don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. So I really appreciate that these group of young people have done their research, put the data together and say, you know what, this isn't our fault. Let's take this back to whose fault it actually is.
A lot of the plaintiffs that are featured in this film all have their own unique story and take that they brought into these court cases to talk about the climate crisis was impacting their families and their communities. And I think showing such a wide diversity of that allows the film to have just such a stronger impact, because it just shows that everyone deserves a place in this discussion.
It shows just how interconnected we are when it comes to the solutions and things that we need to do to move forward.
What's that?
My gray water recycler. Yeah, it treats and reuses the dishwasher water as drip irrigation for our new garden.
No, that's disgusting. Wouldn't you want clean water for your veggies? Come on.
Everyone I talk to Gray Water about has that reaction.
That's the point. The recycler cleans the water. You're messing with me, aren't you?
He's flirting with her over her gray water recycling.
Look, I'm falling in love with that guy because I got a pair of eyes, okay? That guy is a hunk and a half.
I love it. I've been waiting for an eco-friendly love story. It makes these topics just less of this like nerdy science thing, but it's like, no, like you're really cool. You can be that independent woman doing your thing, having your small business.
The power to reuse something or give something a new life, even water, is really amazing. But when we don't have that understanding, we can see it as alien, as, why would you do that? Or that's disgusting. Now, this is a cruel scene.
Oh no, my God. So traumatizing.
And to see everything unfolding on her face, making the realization that this is what's going on and happening to not just my pet, but my friend, someone that I love.
It's all edible except the squeal.
That's a hard clip to watch.
Definitely a factory farm setting. It's definitely like, cold hard metal walls, animals treated like numbers, workers basically having to like serve in the exploitation of these animals.
I thought about the inhumanity and how, unsustainable, slaughterhouses are, and how a majority of the world receives its protein.
But if you see the horror of reality without having to be spoon-fed the information, if your brain comes to that conclusion on your own, I think it's much more impactful.
It makes you sit with that reality and just be like, wow, there should be a better way and a different way that we need to approach these things.
When you're eating kale, your body doesn't consume kale. The bacteria consume the kale.
This is making me so hungry.
And you feed off of what the bacteria have processed and released by the consumption of that kale.
I had no idea that's how the nutrients from kale were consumed. That's wild.
We need to eat what's in the dirt that's transferred to the plants that then we eat and create health.
I love that he's in this. This is great.
My husband is an athlete for a living, so he wants to provide his body with the best possible nutrients so he can perform.
I beat my body down so much over the course of the season. The last thing I want to do is add a bunch of food that I won't be able to properly digest.
I love that an NFL quarterback is talking about regenerative agriculture and plant-based diets.
I think there are a lot of people who love Tom Brady and haven't really considered how their own nutrition impacts the global ecosystem.
Tom Brady speaking about this from his knowledge of, football and those accomplishments, but cool. I think me and this guy have the same language. I can understand this person as he talk about this. Not only that, I can believe in what he's saying because it's just not coming from him. He's surrounded by scientists and people who actually know what they're talking about. And he's just like the diffuser there.
You're not allowed to drill at the North Pole.
Another young person trying to change the world.
Oh, and why would that be?
It will go wrong. Huge quantities of methane gas will be released into the atmosphere.
Well, well. The little expert knows what she's talking about.
So your classic room full of smoking villains.
Global warming will become unstoppable and it will lead to extreme weather events.
That's facts. That's facts.
Let me guess. You're here to save us from it all.
Oh.
People have thought for centuries that the end of time is drawing near.
Corporate interests over the health of the planet is such a common theme in real life. This is just spot on.
That just brought up so much anger in me because I just see that happen all the time where maybe people in power will address young people and be like, yeah, we hear you, but it's really not that bad. But it's like we say the message and the science loud and clear and it just goes over their heads.
It's about cumulative problems and not like one single issue.
We have had a series of incidents in the last 10 years that have eclipsed anything that we've had in the history of firefighting in California.
That is a long list of fires.
That is insane.
Extremely rapid fire spread. Resisted to control. None of our tools able to fight the fire. Having
I remember that.
Guys out. Having the part that's affecting us the most is our weather. And that's what's driving these fires. We're setting records every year. Our humidities are lower. The fire's burning as aggressively at night as it is during the day. And so we don't ever get that chance to get ahead of it. And the toll on our people is extreme.
Wow. Yeah, that was a really powerful clip.
I had no idea there were that many fires happening. These aren't just, one tree burned down. Every single one of those fires that were named were fires that impacted large ecosystems and communities.
When Alan was describing the way fires are now occurring, at night, resistant to fire mitigation techniques, like that feels pretty apocalyptic. Yeah, it's scary.
I think hearing that directly from someone who is an expert on the ground, who has witnessed these transitions, sends such a powerful message than just saying, these are the wildfires, and we're not really addressing the cause and the impact of them.
And I think when we dive deep, we're able to tell these stories from the bottom up, from looking at the people impacted on the ground the most. When we listen to their stories, I think that's when, we can have more empathy and truly start to care more.
Matsi.
Endez. Zita kuteka. Ngati mungandita ndizi.
You are gonna have to keep letting this movie play. I need to see this whole thing.
And the whole community is coming together to build it. Oh my gosh.
It takes a village.
He's up so high. That's insane. What?
The bicycle to power the windmill. This is awesome.
That's amazing. He identified a need in his community, and then everyone just saw his vision, even though they didn't know what it was going to result into, and contributed to it.
It definitely is going to take that community. It's definitely going to take that village, when it comes to these ideas and the solutions that we know will work, but we're going to need the backing of our communities.
So this movie is set in Malawi, Africa, which is one of the regions that is currently being pretty seriously negatively affected by climate change. So we kind of sometimes think about climate change as like a problem that is coming down the pike right now, coming at us. But there are lots of places that are already dealing with the fallout of climate change.
And as the climate crisis continues, these frontline communities that are predominantly Black, Indigenous, and people of color around the world are going to need support and are going to need to be recognized for the solutions that they're creating in their own communities. I would say I was really surprised by the range of the films in this. It was really nice to see some sci-fi, some comedy, some romance. I love that range because we need all different approaches and tones to reach a wide array of people.
The power of storytelling is actually the power to relate to someone else. And when you're able to relate to someone else, you're able to care. And I think when we care, that's when change can start, because we see ourselves, we see our neighbors, we see our families, our friends, our communities, and from there, we're able to make a bigger and better change in our lives. Thank you so much for watching with me.
You can watch all these movies and more at netflix.com/earthstories.
See you later.